I'm walking out that open door. I ain't looking back no more. See you later. What's up, y'all? I'm Christon Gray, and you're watching Stuff Fly People Like TV. Christon Gray is a singer that raps, songwriter, musician, a lot of passion, vulnerability, and soul in my music. About a year ago, I left my last label, and I put out a few songs just on SoundCloud. That seems to be like the buzz now. Like, just put a few records out on SoundCloud and see what happens. I got approached by a few labels who were interested in me, and one of them was Kirk Franklin's For Your Soul. Flew me down to Atlanta. We had a great time. We had a great conversation. He essentially tried to sign me on during his episode of Being, filmed by BET, and which was interesting. We freestyled. He talked a lot about rap and just said how much he enjoyed my music, and I think over time it just proved to be the most authentic of all of the offers, so I went with it. I mean, it's Kirk Franklin, so. The not difficult part is doing it. It's second nature for me to do both. Before I really dived into singing, I spent 8 years in a rap group, and all I did was rap. I mean, besides producing and singing on a few hooks, all it was spitting. So it's nothing for me to do it. It's been interesting or difficult to explain it to people. So and even balance or even categorize it. But that's a challenge worth fighting for. I mean, the message of it is definitely comes from an authentic place. Like, I'm a Christian, and so you're gonna hear that a lot in the values that I speak about. But I'm also very honest, very vulnerable. So even a lot of people in the church still have to. I think it's something new for them. Some of the topics I talk about are very taboo. I don't try to make anything up. I just speak from life experiences. Sonically, I think the music is everything but gospel or contemporary Christian. I think we're more in the R&B, hip hop, soul space. It's just grew up listening to a lot of that, so that's what I make. Again, I said I write from a really honest, vulnerable place. I try to keep my private life as private as I can, but as an artist, you're always out in front of people, and hopefully that'll increase. That platform will increase, so I have to do it more. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's challenging because since my message is one that points towards Christ and not just to me, I have a responsibility to live what I talk about. I can't just place my challenges on a record and leave it out there for everybody to relate to and not try to better myself. I'm fighting not only for my own career, but also for the honor of the message I speak about and for my family. So, it's a tough road, but it's worth it. Yeah, that's the homie, Skyzoo, Brooklyn Bed-Stuy. When I released my last album, it did really well. It charted number 5 on R&B and number 9 in hip hop, and I think number 44 overall on Billboard. And Illmind and Skyzoo, the story goes, according to Sky, that they were in, I believe, somewhere in Cali. I think they just left Dre's house, and because Skyzoo writes for everybody, and Illmind shows Skyzoo School of Roses, my last album, and they both hit me up on Twitter, and ever since I've stayed connected with both of them. I think the church needs to hear stuff like this. I think that people who don't go to church or who are not Christians or not religious, I think they tend to look at people who represent the church or any sort of religion, and they're an easy target because a lot of them are hypocritical. A lot of times we're viewed as though we see ourselves as perfect, and I want to kind of dismantle that opinion by just being honest. If I'm not in a good space, I can record that and put it out without fear of my image being tainted. Now, if I make the same album 10 years later and I'm still in the same place, then we can get concerned. Well, knowing Kirk, I guess now I'm technically 1 degree away from Kanye, so I would love to work with Kanye. For me, it's a lifelong dream to meet and work with Stevie Wonder. You know, I'm kind of an old soul, but then I'm modern as well. So like, I love to work with Drake. I love to meet Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Just anybody who's current. But you know, the list can go on and on for me. I'm a big Michael McDonald fan. I'm a big like Maroon 5 fan. So I love to meet Adam Levine. I think that my music is so diverse that there's so many inspirations to pull from, and I'm interested in gleaning and learning from anybody who's doing something that I'm inspired by. So the new LP is called the Glory album. It comes out March 11th. You know, glory is one of those epic words that everybody kind of hears. You know, it has a religious context to it, but then sometimes people just use it when you start to think of like war or victory or whatever. It's like one of those big lofty words. For me, it's a place. It's something that I fight inside of myself. It's something that I only think belongs to God, and it's something that I fight for my family and for my fans. So you hear that content all throughout the album. Sonically, it's a mix of probably more hip-hop than the last one, same amount of R&B as the last one, a lot more musicality, some jazz and classical influences, and like I said earlier, a lot of passion. You know, I like to wear clothes. I don't want clothes to wear me, so I'm fairly simple. I'm really heavy into European fashion, but right now there's only a certain amount of that I can actually afford. So you know, I'm a big you know, Zara, H&M fan. You know, that's the store that I can walk into and just walk out and all the clothes fit me well. You know, a lot of neutrals are in now, so I grew up, and for the past 10 years I've been a lead graphic designer back in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm tainted by always being around colors. So I tend to just want to keep it simple, because if I dress like the way I design, then I'm going to be looking like a chromatic wheel. Fly to me means effortless and fresh. Yeah, so I mean, I think fly is kind of like it's one of those timeless words that I've heard since I was born, and everybody can't always get to that status, and it seems like the ones who try don't make it, and the ones who have it, they never lose it.